Hello guys and welcome to NINH BINH. In this video, I am taking you along to a stunning part of Vietnam, which has been the scene for famous movies with its impressive karst mountains, picturesque boat trips, the most popular hostel in Vietnam, and by far the best viewpoint. But first, let's see how I got from Catba Island to NINH BINH. The bus picked us up at the hostel and the bus drove onto the ferry. It definitely took a bit longer than the passenger ferry, but it was more of an adventure and experience to get back to the mainland. Then we drove for 4 hours and a half to reach Tam Coc, a beautiful village just outside of NINH BINH. On my first full day here, I rented a bicycle with some friends to go on a stunning drive through the rice fields towards the most beautiful viewpoint in the area. The ride only took us a good 10 minutes, which, given the heat, was plenty of time. When arriving, we paid a small parking fee for our bike and paid to enter. We have rented a bike and driven to the Mua Caves. It is the middle of the day, so it's going to be excruciatingly hot, but it should only be 500 steps up. Wish us luck. I'm so hot already. It is really beautiful here. They seem to have set it up for a lot of photo shoots as usual. Yeah, ready for action. This was definitely the sweatiest activity I've done in Vietnam. On our way back to the hostel, we saw many kingfishers along the rice fields. We had a much needed rehydration break at Happy Wind before trying another mediocre banh mi. They were so hit and miss in Tam Coc. I then joined a friend who just arrived for a walk around town, and it was so beautiful. Glad to have seen the beautiful Thai V temple and the surroundings, but I wasn't done yet. I got on the bike again and drove in the other direction out of town, towards the Big Dong Pagoda. People were asking me to pay for parking and entrance, but I just drove back to a beautiful spot I had seen along the way. At the Nhat Linh restaurant, I found an amazing spot to watch the sun set behind the mountains. The next day, I finally had the best banh mi in town at Hai Linh restaurant. My friend and I rented a scooter and drove to Trang for the famous boat tour. We have made it to Trang and from here we will be going on a boat tour of about 3 hours, passing through caves and along temples. There will be 4 of us in a boat and each person pays 250,000 entrance. We came here by bike, we just rented a bike and it was a 15-minute ride to get here. Let's get going. It took us a while to find the starting dock, which when you arrive is to your right. We went for route number 3 because it is the most recommended route online. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Getting in the boat was a bit more exciting than I expected. Once we sat down safely, we had to put our life jackets on and off we went. If you're wondering why we're holding umbrellas, that's because NINH BINH was the hottest place I've been in Vietnam. These umbrellas were to protect us from the scorching sun. Although many boats left at the same time, the Asian tourists seemed to all go on route 2. So after the first 5 minutes, we had the route almost to ourselves. After about 15 minutes of being rowed, we have reached the first temple, which is not that big. It's pretty small, but it is really beautiful. The scenery is just absolutely amazing, and we've already seen a kingfisher and different kinds of little ducks. So yeah, it's definitely really nice. After visiting the first temple, it was time for the first cave of the route. This cave is the longest cave in Trang with a length of an entire kilometer. Ooh. It was so cool to be going through these caves by boat, but as we moved from the first to the second cave, we came across something unexpected.
Oh yeah, snake.
Another snake. This was the third one on the trip so far. Great. Somehow, I survived. After going through some beautiful caves, one is the longest with 1 kilometer in length. That was pretty cool to see, and now we've arrived at the second temple. The landscapes after this temple were definitely the highlight, and this was even the film set for the King Kong movie Kong Skull Island. So beautiful, and it wasn't long before we arrived at our last temple of the day. Unfortunately, it only took us about 2 hours instead of 3, which we find kind of strange, but anyways, it is what it is. It was so beautiful, and we were very lucky with the weather. It wasn't super hot anymore, which was definitely a plus. And we saw a lot of different kinds of birds and butterflies, and it was so peaceful. I stayed at one of the most raved about hostels in Vietnam, Banana Tree Hostel. The room, staff, and facilities were great. It was really a resort vibe with a good but slightly more expensive restaurant. They made no efforts for it to be social though, which meant that people stuck in cliques of people that they had met along their trip. You had to really make an effort to mingle. Being backpackers, you can count on us to find the cheapest beer in town. For a whopping 7,000 dong, you need to be at Chef Hien's restaurant. The roast duck here was also really amazing. If you've had enough beers, it's time to head onto the karaoke bus. Don't worry, it will not be moving, but you definitely will. If you want to see what I get up to in Vietnam, then definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. My time in Vietnam has been absolutely incredible, so if you don't want to miss any of that, I will see you in the next video. Bye!